Hello there, my name is Al.Mahdi and today we are going to learn more about Photoshop CS6. So let's get started by opening Photoshop CS6. Today we are going to make this amazing photo with only adjustment layers and cropping tool. So let's get started by opening the image. Let's go to File, then Open. You can see the shortcuts is Command O. And let's go ahead and open the original photo. So let's open it. So this is the original photo. I took this photo while walking to the library on my university. Anyways, what we want to do is just to reveal the sky a little bit and change it to black and white, then crop it. So let's get started by using the adjustment layers. So now we have the background layer. We don't want to mess up with anything on the background. All what we need is just to add on an adjustment layer, and the one we will choose for this particular reason that we want to brighten the photo a little bit is the levels. The levels is a tool that controls pixels on your photo. The graph over here shows the amount of pixels that have bright and dark pixels. From this graph we can see that this photo have a lot of darker pixels than brighter. So the way we will brighten this photo is by dragging this middle slider and just slide it in, and this middle slider is representing the gray pixels. So what we have done over here is we have made the whiter a little bit big than before, and also we can also drag this a little bit to make it even brighter, so we can include more brighter. So what's happening actually is that if there is a little bit dark pixels over here, we say you should be a gray. When I just drag this over here, I'm telling these pixels to be gray instead of darker. So that means that levels is only brightening the pixels if I'm dragging to the left, but it will do the opposite if I'm dragging to the right. So because I want to brighten this photo, I'm just gonna drag to the left a little bit, and okay, now you can see we have an adjustment layer, and we can also adjust it anytime we need. Now let's go ahead and choose curves. Curves is actually the same functionality, but it acts in a different ways. Instead of sliders, you make the same difference using the curve. So to create a curve, you just click, drag. Now I'm darkening when I'm going down. It means you are darkening. You can see this is the reference. This is the darker colors, and this is the brighter colors. So what you can do, you can create a contrast by using the S curve. This is a contrast curve, but in this case I don't want that much contrast in this photo. So now I just wanted a little bit of contrast. Okay, now we have two different layers, and that is also, when we change the order, it's also affected because each one affects the other. So there's some difference between curves being in the top and levels being in the bottom. The second layer, and that applies to any adjustment layers as well, so you can experiment and play around with. So now let's go ahead and select the black and white adjustment layer. So let's go click it, and we have created that, and you will get those color sliders. And what does that mean? That means you can adjust each layer color to be dark or to be bright. So if you have a yellow color, you can make it bright, so bright, or you can make it so dark. Only the yellow color. So I may make it a little bit dark for this reason, and the red as well. I don't know about that. So it looks good right now, I think. Now, because we already have done all this together, you can also change the order to create a different look for the image. And I think it looks great like this, so I'm gonna keep it like this. Now, the last thing we are going to do is just to crop the photo. It's simply just clicking the crop tool and making sure that it is unconstrained crop. Otherwise you're going to have a constrained crop, like squared crop or other things like that, the 60 by 9 and so on. So I'm just going to leave it as an unconstrained crop. And also I want to make sure that this is unchecked, because if I keep it checked, it will delete the pixels that I'm gonna crop. Because if I delete them, maybe I want to go back where was I. So I'm gonna keep this unchecked. If you keep it unchecked, I told you that it will delete the pixels you have cropped. So keep it unchecked and just apply by clicking Enter the keyboard. So now we have cropped and we have the final image that we wanted. It looks great, and I hope you experiment more and play around with other adjustment layers, and you will get different looks, different feels. And yes, this is the final project, and hope you learned something today. So please like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any question, and see